Hello, this is Xbox Ahoy, and this is the 8th episode of my Black Ops 2 attachment guide. In this episode, we're covering Select Fire. Although technically first seen in the earliest Call of Duty titles, as an attachment, Select Fire makes its debut in Black Ops 2 multiplayer. In real life, most military weapons will have a selective fire ability. Indeed, assault rifles are select fire by definition. In Call of Duty, your weapon's fire mode is fixed, however, and to add the ability to switch modes, you'll need to spend a point on the Select Fire attachment. Select Fire is available for just the assault rifles and SMGs. Snipers, shotguns, LMGs and secondary weapons are limited to their default firing mode only. You can't use the Select Fire attachment with either the hybrid scope or grenade launcher on the assault rifles. These dual mode options collide with the Select Fire's similarly switching control. Select Fire will allow automatic weapons to be fired with a 3-round burst, with a couple of exceptions. And burst fire and single shot weapons will gain a fully automatic mode. In addition, your weapon's recoil, range and rate of fire may be affected too, sometimes for the better, but often for the worst. Of all the automatic assault rifles, only the AN-94 has unusual traits when used with Select Fire. Instead of the usual 3-round burst, the AN will fire just 2 shots instead. These 2 rounds are fired more quickly than the usual full auto fire rate and with reduced recoil, meaning the AN-94 can be quite effective over long sightlines with Select Fire. The Vector K10 is similar. While most SMGs will fire a 3-round burst, the Vector fires just 2, although these 2 shots are fired at an elevated fire rate and with reduced recoil. Burst weapons see the opposite effect. The SWAT 556 and M8A1 will see an increase in recoil when fired full auto. The SWAT is hit particularly hard. While its fire rate is preserved at 940 rounds per minute, its range and minimum damage are drastically lowered, meaning you'll usually need more shots to kill. The M8A1 retains its damage profile but has a reduced rate of fire. Instead of a 4-round burst at 1250 rounds per minute, a full auto M8A1 will fire at 940 rounds per minute instead. The burst fire SMG, the Chicom, sees an identical fire rate reduction, from a 3-round burst at 1250 rounds per minute to 940 rounds per minute full auto. The 2 semi-automatic weapons, the Fal and SMR, gain a fully automatic fire mode when paired with Select Fire. The SMR's moderate recoil remains unchanged, but the rate of fire is reduced from 535 to 416 rounds per minute. The Fal also sees a fire rate drop from 625 to 468 rounds per minute, and will also see a heavy increase to recoil. Select Fire is a unique attachment that can open up whole new playstyles with certain weapons. It's a great choice for those who want to use the burst fire or single shot weapons without conforming to the more restrained style of play such weapons usually suit. It can also extend the reach of some automatic weapons through the recoil reducing benefits, although whether this is worth the point spend is debatable. Ultimately, that is Select Fire's downfall. Spending a point to use a weapon in a manner it was not necessarily designed for may not be the most efficient option. Sometimes it's best to leave a burst weapon as is, and stick to engagements over long sightlines where they perform best. Still, it's always nice to have the option, and so should you desire an alternate fire mode for your weapon, select this attachment and fire up your performance. Thanks for watching, this has been Xbox Ahoy. Join me for the next attachment guide, when I'll be covering Tri-Bolt. Until then, farewell.